another episode of the Fourth Quarter Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan. I got my boy Project in here with me today. What's going on, Brody?
Hey, what's going on, bro? It's about time I got on
Good.
him. I've been waiting.
I, I know, right? It's been a long time coming, man. Long
Yeah,
time coming.
already talking,
So, we
man.
gon' we gon' we gonna dive into Justin, his last game of the season, going against our division rival, the Packers. Possibly, according to some people in the media, his last game as a Chicago Bear. We can dive into all of that, but before we get into that, what are your expectations for Justin in this last game of the season?
Um, so realistic thoughts. I wrote it down. I was ready. I'm thinking 20 or 32 for about 215. Uh, maybe about 60 on the ground. 2 to 3 total touchdowns. So he might get one rushed in, and I feel like he'll probably throw two.
Okay,
I feel like that's realistic.
so does that realistic expectations also include a W or a L?
Oh, that's a W. Also got us down for winning 31 to 24.
Okay, so with that being the projected score, what kind of performance do you think Jordan Love is going to have?
Spotty. I feel like they're gonna have to rely on the run game a lot this game. Our corner's been shut down, bro. Honestly, truly.
I mean, speaking of corners, we have Jalen Johnson as doubtful. So, I mean, according to him, he's saying he's going to play, but the most recent injury report is stating that he is doubtful.
I'm
I
real.
mean,
It we got to also take heed to who we talking about. We playing Christian Watson, who spotty at best. He is off and on. When he's hot, he's hot. When he's hot, he's
mhm,
hot. But all season he's been hit or miss. Romeo Dobbs, same thing. Like, and he's supposed to be their most consistent receiver, but he hit or miss. They might give him 2 reception out of 6 targets. He might catch 2 for like 20. They
mhm.
spotty, bro. They spotty. Now I do like Dontavian Wicks, the rookie they got over there, but again, he's still going through those the learning curve of being in the league. Our
Yeah,
defense has been shut down over the last 5 weeks, bro. The turnovers that we've been making, like, it's been a difference maker. I feel like it's way different than when they played us at the beginning of the season.
I agree. I mean, looking at that team from week one, looking at them now going into week 18, you're talking about a team that is first in interceptions at this point. You have a edge rusher who is leading two teams at once in sacks. So just the key pieces and just the time to actually build together, this defense definitely looks different. I think the key matchup is going to be that defensive line versus Aaron Jones. The reason why I say that is because Aaron Jones has the ability of taking the pressure off of Jordan Love, and if he doesn't have that ability in this game, then it's all on Jordan Love. And how does that typically work out for him? We've seen him in games where he hasn't had Aaron Jones and didn't look as great. I mean, I don't know if AJ Dillon is healthy or not, but
It doesn't matter.
I agree.
AJ Dillon came into the league, bro, and literally niggas was like, "Do you see the size of his thighs? Like, he's supposed to be this wrecking ball, but like he about 2 3 years in the league, bro, and I think we see who he is at this point. He's a pedestrian running back, and they're probably going to draft somebody else to be the new number 2. To be realistic, they got actually, I wouldn't be surprised. Quote me on this: if the Packers draft 2 running backs in this draft, because they're gonna need somebody to replace Aaron Jones because he's getting a little longer in the tooth, and his health is constantly a problem every year. Every
Mhm.
year he has to take a seat for at least 2 or 3 games. Will he be able to do it in this game? I don't think so. I honestly think with the pressure that we've been able to get with DeMarcus Walker and Montez Sweat on the edge, bro, and even in the middle, like with the switch with the rotation, like they're gonna have. We are not the same team from the beginning of the year. They're gonna have a hard time up there.
Yeah, and then our linebackers are actually starting to gel the way we expected them to.
Thank God.
And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the defense is really looking scary for this upcoming season. Like obviously, we're out of playoff contention, so this will be the last game of the season for the Bears. But there's so much upside to look forward to next season, and I would say the defense is definitely a bright spot, if not the brightest spot.
Bro, I'm gonna be real. That's probably why Eberflus keeping his job, G. That's probably why he's keeping his job. Like, yes, they've had to turn around with these few wins over the last rest of the season. I don't think they really I don't think they really care about that part for real. I think it's the performance that they've been able to see from the Bears with him also calling the defense, because we don't have a defensive coordinator right now. It's like, they're starting to see things come together. They're piecing together. So the defense, yes, excited to see them next year. Our linebackers, man, bro, in the beginning of the year, it looked like it was a total waste of money. Why did we pay all this money to revamp our linebacker core just to bring these things out? Like,
right.
But now it's like, bro, these boys is playing lights out, fast to the ball. I feel like it all comes down to like really understanding, like it's understanding the process. Like, they also were brand new to the system. They also they're the majority of the camp because they was all hurt during there. We didn't have our full starting defense play together until the season actually started. They hadn't played all.
That was like week 8, week 9, if that. Yeah.
So seeing the continuity now, bro, you can't help but be excited right now.
Yeah, I think the biggest surprise for me has been Gervon Dexter. I think that I wasn't necessarily surprised about Tyrique Stevenson and his play because, I mean, for him to be first of all, he came from Miami. Second of all, he was. I actually looked at some of his highlights in college when we drafted him, and I could tell like he was going to be a stud. And so, just kind of looking at the learning curve that we mentioned earlier with the rookies, and he definitely hit his bump in the road just like Kyron did last season. Now we're talking about somebody leading all rookies in interceptions and is not even getting consideration for defensive rookie of the year. So, but I will say Gervon Dexter was the surprise for me so far. And the reason why is because of all of the negative connotation around him after being drafted. Like, oh, well, passed up on Jalen Carter just to go to this person. And looking at some of his, film, it was like, all right, does he, really have that motor 24/7 when he's on the field? And it's like he's really bought into the veterans that's surrounded by him, the coaching, and it's all paying off. Like he looks great. I'm obviously there's still some room for growth, but seeing his development now and knowing that this isn't his ceiling, what he's going to look like next year, like I said, I think, in my opinion, the brightest spot of the Bears is going to be the defense. Yeah, I'm excited, bro. I'm really excited.
Yeah, man. Like, in Pose we trust, G. Like,
yeah, the man does not miss. I mean, rarely misses in the draft.
Everybody misses a little bit, but
yeah, rarely misses.
He's calculated, bro. He's calculated. I feel like he definitely plays the long game with every move. And the reason I really like when he got here is because the thought process was, hey, we're literally going to build this team from the ground up. We are going to start over. Realize this is a rebuild. And the move that he's made in order for us to have the turnover that we've had, I mean, he literally scrapped everybody and it was like, yo, I know y'all love Akeem Hicks and everything, but look, we can't keep him here. Like, and I that hurt my heart. But like, told me, like, gee, let's be realistic. Is Akeem Hicks going to be the difference between the Bears competing in the playoffs or going to the Super Bowl right now with the look of your team? And I was like, yeah, no, you're right. Like, but paying attention to what these moves, G, I actually liked Gervon Dexter coming out the draft because of the versatile play. I feel like there's always like like I said, the long game. Like teaching him what was necessary. They seen something in him in the first place. Like, but it also could be because I'm such a homer. Like, I have such positive optimism more times than not.
Hey, see, this is why me and you are pretty much the same person when it comes to the Bears, bro. It's not one thing that I will not do when it comes to defending my team, bro. So I get it. I get it. And just kind of segueing from that, is there anything Justin has not already done that he needs to do against this Packers team to solidify him coming back?
Um, win. He has to win this game, bro. Like, outside of that, I think honestly, I feel like it's a no-brainer, bro. Bring Justin back. Justin is my quarterback. Justin will be my quarterback. I'm gonna say it out loud. I'm gonna claim it. I'm gonna own it.
Manifest it out.
There's no reason to. There's literally people begging for him, wanting him. You know how bad the Falcons want us to be like, hey, Justin Fields is available. They waiting. Okay, but it's just like, bro, with that knowledge and knowing that, understanding that, why are you ready and willing to possibly get rid of him? It's already apparent that somebody else, a lot of somebody else's feel like they can win with him. So why can't you? That makes you think more about what you're doing wrong, what you can change about other things. It's not him. It's not him. It's Luke Getsy. It's Luke Getsy.
You didn't even have to whisper because it's like we all know. We all know.
Screen pass man. He needs to get that shit tatted on his forehead. Screen pass man.
Screen pass Getsy. Bro, I think for me, I've been a fan of Justin's for a while. I've been feeling like he's the franchise QB since we drafted him. Soon as I found out we traded up and selected Justin Fields, I already put my order in for this. So,
bro, I got an autographed rookie RPA. Like, I be into the cards and stuff. I got Justin card signed, autographed. I'm ready. I got a 1-of-1 Justin Fields print plate rookie card, bro. He's my quarterback.
He's my quarterback too, and it's like you hear all of this. Oh well, Caleb Williams is a generational talent. Cool, that's fine and dandy. You know what I'm saying? If you looked at scouts in all of those interviews when Justin was coming out of college, you have people making the argument he should have been the first QB off the board. People fail to realize or remember that, but it's because of Caleb Williams making these miraculous throws and getting the comparisons of Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure Caleb Williams is going to ball out. But the thing, in my opinion, there's things that Caleb Williams can do that Justin can't. But there's things that Justin can do that Caleb can't. Why give that up? Why give that up? People were saying, oh, well, we need to see him have a game-winning drive. He did that. We need to see him throw the ball, more precisely down the field. He's done that too. What else do you need him to do?
I mean, that's the question that I feel like can't be answered, to be honest. Like, you want to win the games, but you want them to be more decisive. You want him to have more 300-yard games. You want him to have a 4,000-yard season, something that has eluded every Bears quarterback in the history of Bears quarterbacks. No, 4,000-yard season quarterback, bro. Like, the closest was Jay Cuddy, Smoking Jay. Yeah. But like, those are the things that people are looking for here in Chicago. That's what they're trying to get because it's eluded us for so long. And it's a lot of added pressure that I feel like that they're putting on him. But I feel like when you do look at him play, like, bro, that deep ball, he be throwing darts, hitting them right in the hands, bread basket. Like, he'll run like he's still young. And it's really this idea of
He's
the
only 23, 24.
hmm, he's 24,
Yeah.
young. Like the thing is, a lot of these teams follow this weird system where they feel like we're on a clock. We're on a clock. Like we need to build this defense, and then go draft a rookie quarterback, put a couple of pieces around him. We got about 4 or 5 years to see what he's really going to do and win a championship with him before
Resetting the QB
we
clock.
have to pay him again. And it's like that's happened so few and far in between in this league that it's like, why is everybody gambling for that? Like, what is literally proven to be the real thing to go by? You build your roster, you build your team slowly but surely, but steadily. Like this idea of, oh man, we got to reset it because of it. Like, no, if you have a guy that's in there that's doing what you need to do, maybe it's some of the other things that you need to change. Like, that's honestly, I feel that way a little bit with like Kirk Cousins. Like, I'm not even a Kirk Cousins fan, bro. Do not subscribe, but that man will give you over 4,000 yards and 22 touchdowns every year. He chokes in the playoffs horribly. But outside of that, like, why wouldn't people want that competing? You're winning 13, 14 games a season behind this.
Mm-hmm.
That's way better, you know what I'm saying, in terms of thinking about being able to compete and having a competitive advantage overall than, oh man, let me get this rookie and hope that I get CJ Stroud, who's been crushing it in his rookie season. But like everybody doesn't do that. You talked about Justin in his draft when he possibly came out first. They were talking about Trevor Lawrence. Like they were the top two quarterbacks coming out of high school, 1 and 2, coming out of college, 1 and 2. We have a good idea of why Justin might have failed in the draft. But the general idea was like, hey, these two in all of college football were the best quarterbacks that we'd seen.
Yeah. I mean, you could say the same exact thing about Trevor Lawrence, too. Trevor Lawrence got drafted number 1. Who was his head coach at the time? Urban Meyer. We saw how that panned out. He got a new coach, totally different quarterback. Totally different quarterback. So, at the end of the day, it's just going to be a, merry-go-round of, well, he's doing this, well, he's not doing that. But he is doing this, he's not doing that. It's always gonna be somebody not satisfied.
Yeah.
Always. And like I said, in my opinion, I feel like he's done enough to solidify that starting spot. I think the cherry on top is beating Green Bay. We haven't beat them since 2018. Came close a couple of times with Justin, with a mediocre team around him. So now that you have a much more talented team around you, go do it. We expected that week 1. That didn't pan out. Y'all got that chip on y'all shoulder saying, we ready for him now. Show me.
They still needed to gel more. I think they're ready.
Yeah, they're absolutely ready. I want to talk about the Pro Bowl and the selections that the Bears had and the ones that we didn't have. First and foremost, I want to shout out, Montez Sweat and Jalen Johnson for receiving the nod for the Pro Bowl. Like I mentioned earlier, Montez Sweat is leading 2 franchises at once in sacks. That is unheard of.
That's
2 franchises. 2 franchises, bro. And then Jalen Johnson has arguably been the best cornerback this year. I think he has the top rating for cornerbacks against all playoff teams, current playoff teams, with I think it was like a 90.1. So he has been playing his tail off, like being completely honest. A lot of critics towards the beginning of the year were like, hey, Jalen, he has been good. People are scared to throw his way. He just isn't getting turnovers. He has 4 picks this year.
That's the difference maker, man. That's been the difference maker. Because he honestly said before that was that was the one thing that he wanted to change about this year. He said that in the beginning of the year during the summer, he wanted to get more turnovers because literally that was the only thing the naysayers could say about him. He shut down corner. He just wasn't getting the picks. But with Ford this year, bro, like
what more can he say? What more can he do? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Jalen has balled out. I think that that's the first priority for Ryan Poles. Extend him. But let's talk about the snubs. DJ Moore obviously is the most popular one, with him having a career year with right now 1,300 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns, let's say over 90 receptions. Uh, I mean, I guess the argument is he hasn't really had a legit QB1 his entire career since he's been in the league. I mean, he's had Cam Newton. Somebody was like, well, that was Cam Newton at the end of his career. Okay, but it's still Cam Newton.
still Cam Newton.
He's had Sam Darnold. Okay. PJ Walker. Okay. Baker Mayfield. Okay. Justin Fields. Now it's like, oh well, Justin only looks good because of DJ. It's a collaboration. DJ looks good because of Justin, and Justin looks good because of DJ.
Thank you. They say the same.
I think that DJ was snubbed. I mean, I will, tip my cap to the receivers that did make it. I believe it was Mike Evans, AJ Brown, and Puka Nacua.
And CD.
Puka has been ball. Oh yeah, and CD. Now, taking CD and AJ Brown out because I feel like those were like just solidified. I think that the argument for Mike Evans is the fact that he has consistently had over 1,000 receiving yard seasons. I don't think he's had one since he's been in the league where he did not have over 1,000. So that's a big milestone.
He also has the most touchdowns out of everybody that was named. He has 13 touchdowns on the year.
Right. So I will give him that. The only one that I think that is kind of up for debate is Puka. And the reason why is because even though he has more receiving yards, he does not have more touchdowns. He doesn't. So, I mean, for my homie who's a Lions fan who's probably watching, Amon-Ra St. Brown got snubbed. Can't even lie. So I think that either DJ Moore or Amon-Ra could have got that last spot over Puka. Obviously it's more to it than just the fan vote. Players vote on this stuff as well. And I mean, I guess it just boiled down to people liking Puka a little bit more. Do I agree? No. But maybe that's the homer in me. But no, like I said, he's having a career high year. Yeah, Puka is doing this stuff as a rookie, which is, like you said, when it came to CJ Stroud, not something that you typically see. So I get why he got the nod. But come on, man. DJ Moore is more of a difference maker for his team than Puka is for his.
That I agree with. And that was one of the things that I was thinking about when it came to Puka. It was just like, he wasn't as much of a difference maker for his team. Now, 1,400 yards, rookie season, it's crazy. But if we count tutties now, we only got 5 tutties on the year, bro. Like, and 2 of the people that got snubbed had 9. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 9. DJ Moore, 9. And for you to have 1,400 yards is great, but they both had 1,300 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Way less targets, and, well, Amon-Ra St. Brown had more receptions, but DJ Moore only had 92 receptions, bro. 17 yards. Like, but I also feel like you got to think about market. Chicago is a big market, but they really want LA to be a football market because of how big of a market LA is in general. That's why LA got 2 teams. Like, it's wild. Like, but I feel like that's clearly politics. It has to be. Because, nah, bro. These other receivers, literally the 9 touchdowns, the 4 more touchdowns by both of them with only 100 less receiving
Mhm.
yards. Because let's see, well, CD had 16, 51, 10 touchdowns. I feel like out of everybody, he had the most solid stats. It made sense.
Mhm.
Brown, 14, 47, but 7 tutties. You want to play the tutty game? Hey, he had a better case against DJ Moore and Amon-Ra St. Brown than Puka, but like
Yeah.
he's also the difference maker at receiver on his team.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
DJ got robbed, bro. I'll leave it at that. DJ Moore was robbed.
Another player on the Bears that I think got robbed is Jaquan Brisker. Now, I believe it was Buda Baker that was placed in over him. Jaquan Brisker has more interceptions with 1 versus 0. He has more tackles. I think it was like 62 to 50. Um, Granted, Buda Baker played 3 less games, but if we're talking about team success and all of that, Bears have a much better record than the Cardinals. Like I have this
The
I
game per average. Did you look at that? Like, is it that big a difference?
did I look at what?
The average per game. Like, as you said, he played 3 less games, or at least the average is comparable.
Um, Let me see if I could pull that up because I remember talking about it in the chat, and I had like the side by side comparison. So sacks. This is the only thing that I saw. Total games 14 for Jaquan, 11 for Buda. Total interceptions 1 for Jaquan, 0 for Buda. Sacks 1 for Jaquan, 0 for Buda. Uh, 62 solo tackles for Jaquan, 50 for Buda. 2 forced fumbles for Jaquan, 0 for Buda. Then you look at the record. Bears are what 7-9 right now. Arizona's what 4-12.
I'm gonna be honest. I know what that is. Also, that's fan vote.
Yeah.
Buda Baker is a bigger name right now. The Bears were just now actually turning it around,
Hmm.
but Buda Baker had a name established before the Cardinals were trash. I think it's a lot of people logging on there and just picking their favorite player type thing.
Which is
Because,
understandable.
man, I think I appreciate a fan vote and things because I usually vote for these things, but it's a reason why we not the GMs and the coaches and things. I feel like some of this stuff should literally be voted on by the teams, the players, the coaches, like personnel that actually are involved in the day to day. Like,
Hmm.
because they're the ones that play against this competition, that see this, and they're the ones that can give the people that actually deserve they flowers, they flowers. We picking Buda Baker because everybody know Buda Baker name and don't everybody know Jaquan Brisker because he plays for the Bears that haven't been playing that well recently. So unless you're a Bears fan and then you follow the draft and football real hard, like you might play IDP, whatever, you might not know who he is.
Hmm.
But his stats are significantly better. How do we get him in the door? Let's put the people that actually know what they're talking about in charge of this.
I think,
A
like
real
I said,
shoot.
like I said, next year with the Bears obviously being a better team, they're gonna get more recognition than what they got this year. Plain and simple. Because you could have made the argument that Kyler Gordon got snubbed just based off of his play, but they don't divide the cornerback group up from like, oh, we got the outside cornerbacks and then the slot cornerbacks because he was the best slot cornerback this year. statistically. Um, TJ Edwards, he's had a great year, really great year. So it's like we look at people saying, "Oh, we overpaid Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards." When Roquan was asking for the same amount of money, we're getting the same amount of production from TJ Edwards that Roquan is doing over there in Baltimore. I trust me, I miss Roquan. I love Roquan. I felt like he was a great piece to the team, but I think he's better on Baltimore. Just being completely honest, I think he's better on Baltimore. I think that's much more of a fit for him.
Yes, I
Um,
agree.
and I think that it shows based off of how they've been playing, how that defense has looked. Roquan has been a big piece to that.
Man, I agree, man. I miss Roquan. I was ecstatic when we drafted him, but when it came down to paying him the bread, bro, like it didn't make sense. It didn't make dollars and it didn't make sense. So when he left, it was like, okay, I understand what's going on here. I would have liked a marginally better return, but you know, hey.
Yeah,
But I'm also very much happy for him. He's happy over there. He got paid. He balling, and I think that we were able to bounce back from losing him with the pieces that we were able to get last year in the offseason. Like I said, I thought they was some trash. You brought up Tremaine Edmonds, bro, and I was like, him. Because in the beginning of the year, he played like straight cheeks. Uh,
yeah,
but as the years gone on, like him and TJ Edwards, bro, like they've been hooping. Like the arrow's up for us, bro. Boo to all the naysayers. You're seeing this live. Everyone in the Brush chat that hates on the Bears because you might be a New Orleans Saints fan. We gonna show y'all Green Bay Packers fans tomorrow, so boo y'all as well. And then, well, who else we got? We got some Colts fans.
yeah.
Better
We got
luck
some Colts
here
fans
when you're
in
quick. Um, but hey, bear down for sure.
we got Aaron Rodgers lovers in there too. Can't forget about them. You know what I'm saying?
The the ever so odd. I just like Aaron Rodgers. So whatever team he's on, I'm rooting for him. Still
Oh, man.
be sneak cheering for the Packers though, but was saying he wasn't
Right,
a Packers fan, he was a Rodgers fan. I'm
right.
gonna let him live though. I'm gonna let him live though. Rudolph.
Just gotta let a naysayer know. You know what I'm saying? Gotta let a naysayer know. Uh, so this is the last week of the regular season. We got playoffs coming up next week. What are your playoff predictions?
Um. All right. There's levels to this
Mm-hmm.
because one, we still got a few folks that ain't made it in yet. Um. One, I think the Bucks for sure go ahead and lock up that last spot over there in the NFC. They beat the Panthers for sure. I can't imagine Baker choking and not pulling that off whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I think what'll be interesting to watch though is Ravens and Steelers because the Ravens are resting their starters. Kind of makes it an easy win for the Steelers to kind of shore up something. Like they still need a little help, but
Mm-hmm.
we already know you get a Steelers a puncher's chance what they likely and lively and able to do. Let's see who else. Lions are playing their starters. I know the Vikings were kind of on the bubble, but I think
Yeah, I think they've been eliminated from playoff contention. If I'm
they
not mistaken.
eliminated. Who's still on there? Green Bay. Well, we already know how that's going to go. Don't need to speak on that one. They're going to be eliminated tomorrow.
You got the Saints and Falcons who
Saints.
play each other.
Saints. I don't think that even though Arthur Smith is playing for his job, realistically coaching for his job, honestly, I don't think they have enough. Tyler Heineke is not. He's not an NFL starting quarterback. He is a wonderful, absolutely wonderful backup.
Mm-hmm.
He will save you in some tight pinches, but I think the Saints defense has entirely too much for him. Excuse me. And the lack of passing game, it really defeats the purpose a lot with Atlanta's offense because you got a Kyle Pitts, you have a Drake London out there, but you don't have anybody to actually get them the ball down the field. And if I'm being honest, sometimes Drake London play like he got stone hands. He'll drop a ball quick. Um, Shout out to Drake London. I drafted you in fantasy and then traded you for DJ Moore.
Sounds like a good come up on in my opinion.
Hello. But no, the running backs there are electric, but it's the Saints defense, bro. The Saints defense is going to be the difference maker in this game, even if Derek Carr plays subpar and Atlanta's defense steps up because they've had a good pass defense all year as well. I just got the Saints taking the edge on that one. Saints taking the edge on that one.
Okay. Do the Bills solidify that last spot in the playoffs with a win?
Who do they play?
The Dolphins. So the thing is, the Bills I forgot at what point in the season it got to, but they had to win out to solidify a playoff spot. So this is literally the last win to solidify that. They can still make it in with help, but this one is a guaranteed they're in.
Are the Dolphins, who are already locked into a playoff spot, playing their starters?
I believe so.
If
Tyreek Hill is trying to get that 2K.
Oof, that's gonna be a spicy game. Try to get in against because Buffalo's defense is fire. But I also will say, in this game, I don't see the Bills winning. If Miami plays their starters, bro, I don't care how lights out the Buffalo Bills defense thinks it is. They've been faulty a little bit throughout the season, which is why Josh Allen was a so-called snub for the Pro Bowl. Like,
we really know why he was a snub.
That Miami offense got it, bro. If everybody playing, boy, and healthy, it's whew.
So I think Waddle is questionable.
Well,
I know Bradley Chubb, who's on their defense, is out with a 20.
Yeah, I know he's out.
Raheem Mostert, I think, is questionable too.
Is a chain back.
Mm-hmm. But you know that two-headed monster is something different.
Still got Jeff Wilson. You also got to think about whose offense we're talking about. We're talking about Miami Daniels.
Yes.
Like literally plug and chug running back play. Like he can put anybody back there, I believe, at running back, and they're going to give you about $1, at least 75.
Yeah, I mean,
what's that Shanahan?
He does have a nice orthodox offense where you could put in pretty much anybody. You could put Braxton Berrios in the slot, and he's gonna have a good game. Like he does.
We're not gonna shit on Braxton Berrios now. He's another one.
We not.
But
Tyreek Hill, Braxton Berrios.
I mean, understandably so. We're not questioning that.
Right.
But we think about like the Shanahan offense, bro. Like he literally just came from the 49ers before he was over here in Miami. And what does the 49ers do with running backs? Literally, until they got Christian McCaffrey, run them into the ground. They'll put Jordan Mason in there, and Jordan Mason will give you 125 yards for no reason at all. Who else? Bro, they put Trey Sermon in when they had him for like at least once. And he had a good game. They just did not like him. I don't know why they got rid of him. But like their offense is cycle through running backs like a lot. It doesn't really matter. And they always produce. I think it's just the offense, bro. It's built for them to just crush it.
So whoever wins, well, we about to get into that in a second. So you already kind of talked about the Ravens versus the Steelers, which is a game that we got going on today. Um, See, my thing is, it's like Tyler Huntley can hoop. Like he can hoop. So I don't think that this win is going to be necessarily a cakewalk for the Steelers. Because one, it's a division rival. If you win, you pretty much keep them out of the playoffs. They beat y'all earlier in the year, kind of similar to the Packers and the Bears situation. Um, Even though Lamar isn't playing, I don't think this is going to be an easy win. Like, I know the spread was last time I looked at it -3 in favor of Pittsburgh, but Ravens are at home. I just feel like whoever's playing for the Ravens is going to show up. So I think it's going to be one of those games that come down to the last possession. I don't think Mason Rudolph is a Tom Brady esque type of QB where he's just going to be dotting everything up. I think it's going to come down to the last possession, bro.
I don't think you giving the Steelers the adequate credit that you should, to be perfectly honest. They
Yeah,
defense.
Mike Tomlin has not had a losing season since he's been head coach. I don't know what he does as a head coach, what he says, but he flips that switch and the Steelers be on go
Bro,
every single
they be
time.
on go. But then the defense gets to the quarterback, bro. Like I feel like Huntley's gonna be on the run, my boy. He's not Lamar. He's not gonna be
Oh
able to
no.
pull some magician shit out his ass and just, ooh, y'all done missed me. Like, no, they are going to crack that boy a few times. Like, do not take that for granted. And then you also have to think about like Mason Rudolph. Like, yes, he is not, you know, Ben Roethlisberger.
Mm-hmm.
But he also ain't Mitch Trubisky either. Okay, and that,
Touche.
he will put the ball in George Pickens' hands, bro. George Pickens and Deontay Johnson, bro. They down the field, bro.
So you would take a George Pickens anytime touchdown for today?
Huh?
You would take a George Pickens anytime touchdown for today?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. I like that. What about the Colts and the Texans game? Whoever wins this pretty much gets the last spot in the playoffs.
CJ. It's CJ. Like, look, and I know this is a tough one. This is probably going to be like one of the best games to actually see this weekend because the Colts defense is still playing like the Colts defense.
Mm-hmm.
And Gardner Minshew honestly is a decent like spot player quarterback. Like he's not the one. He's like Nick Foles, bro. Like, man, you really want him there to be your backup quarterback to step in when you really need him to. But like realistically, he also could probably win you a few playoff games and could, sneak something in for you.
That's the best backup QB in the league.
Bruh. But I honestly think that CJ steps into his own. Houston takes another step. They've been playing crazy this year. Like, to literally have been number 2, their jump has been great. And it's literally off the back of CJ playing like lights out football.
I'm not gonna lie. If the Texans win, I think D'Amico Ryan deserves Coach of the Year. I really do. Just going from a team that basically threw away the number 1 overall pick last year to being a playoff team. Yeah, I just says a lot about them buying into what the coach is doing over there. First year as a head coach at this, location for this team, and you got them playing to this caliber level. Why not give him the head coach of the year award? You know what I'm saying? But I agree. I think that CJ he was talking a little smack about the Colts. You know what I'm saying? Rightfully so, with it being a division rival. You got to back it up. Got to back it up. So I think he will. Um, I think it's going to be a CJ Stroud versus Jonathan Taylor show, to be honest, because Texans have a difficult time stopping the run, and Jonathan Taylor is going to have a good game, and I think CJ is going to have to match that with a better one. So it's one of those games that I think it's going to come down to the last possession, but I'm going to get an edge to the Texans.
Would you
No,
uh, would you say Jonathan Taylor 2 tutties today?
I can see that. I can see that. It depends, though. It depends on how often they use him and how often they put in Zach Moss. Because if they are distributing the touches between those two, then I'll do it anytime for Jonathan Taylor and anytime for Zach Moss.
Mm, I think they're gonna put it in Jonathan Taylor hands, bro. It's too much on the line. They trying to get in the offs. Zach Moss, when he's on, he's on. But it's just like, man, it's too, it's too much on the line, G. It's too much on the line.
Art out in chat talking about Texas Edge is crazy. Watch this though. Hey, you know it's all love, bro. It's all love. But I gotta rock with my Ohio State boy, CJ Stroud, man.
Man,
You
shout out.
already we've had these discussions, Ardot. You said you hate seeing the fact that he's in y'all division. You said that. And he gonna
Shout
show y'all today
He
why.
got me on Ohio State tough, man. The U is my team, but he got me on Ohio State. What is this? Go! Oh my goodness! Go home! Go! Go back home!
Ardot, you stepping that low, bro? That's crazy. Moving on, we already said we think the Bucks gonna beat the Panthers. Um, we got the Browns versus the Bengals. Bengals are pretty much out of the playoffs at this point. The Browns 11-5 already clinched the playoff spot. I mean, do they necessarily have to play their starters? I don't think they will.
They're
I
not.
think the
They are. The fancy artists. He said they not. They said they not.
Hmm. No wonder why the Bengals spread is -7. Makes sense now.
Yep.
Okay. Then we got the Vikings versus the Lions. Lions are playing their starters, I'm assuming, with the -3.5 spread. Um,
Dan Campbell definitely said that he's playing his starters for sure.
yeah, and I think I was saying this on the previous episode. I think that if the Lions play their starters, they win this game. I think that they play their starters in this game. Me personally, I would sit my starters if I'm the Lions. I don't need any mishaps happening in this game, especially with them getting a playoff appearance for the first time and who knows how long. You know, you need all of your weapons. You need every bit that you can have.
You know who Dan Campbell is.
Yeah, he just wants to prove,
bro. He is not that type of coach.
Yeah, he just wants to prove that he's built different every single time that he can. So that's exactly what he's going to do. But I'm not Dan Campbell. I don't make that call.
He old school, man. I can't be mad at it. Honestly, I've always liked that old school approach. Like, yeah, you know, we're going to hit them. We're going to hit them hard, and we're going to compete every time. That's why they need a rest.
Facts.
They gonna lose some of that edge, some of that sharpness. You compete every time.
Yeah. I mean, I can't knock him for it. You know, sometimes it pans out for him, sometimes it doesn't. But it is what it is. You can't shy away from who you are, and that's exactly who he is. We got the Jets going against the Patriots. They have the Patriots, I think, at a -2 spread advantage. I don't know. For the sake of the draft pick, obviously, I need them to lose. So, Jets, Jets. But I don't. I mean, I feel like this is gonna be a type of game to watch anyway. Um, I'm gonna go with the Jets. I think that defense has just been pretty much consistent all year, and I don't think Zappy is that person to lead the Patriots to the promised land. Hence why they're gonna need the quarterback. Um, you said for the Falcons and Saints game, you're taking the Saints. Saints are at home. It's like I want to say the Saints. I want to so bad. I want to say the Saints. I just don't know. Like,
What don't you know?
you know how you were saying that, the defense is, going to be their defense, but I really feel like Derek Carr is going to put them in positions where they're going to have to do more than they should.
Mm.
And that I feel like that's going to be one of those. Oh, they maintain a 10-7 lead pretty much the entire game up until like the last 5 minutes of the game. Derek Carr does something stupid, gives the ball back to Atlanta, and Atlanta wins it with a couple seconds left, type of thing. Like I feel like that's something that's bound to happen. But I don't know. I don't know. They got the spread at -3 for the Saints. I think I might have to take the -3. I'm on the fence. I might just leave that alone though. But if I was to take anything, it'd probably be the -3.
I don't, I don't think Atlanta got it, bro. They gonna choke. They gonna choke.
We gonna see. I
And
feel like time
it's in their interest to do it anyway because they need a quarterback.
they
So go
do.
ahead and lose this game, man.
They do. Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Titans. I'm assuming Jaguars are going to play their starters because they still haven't necessarily secured their division. So I got the Jaguars winning in Tennessee with a -4 spread. I like that, so I would take that. You have the Seahawks versus the Cardinals. Cardinals at home. Seahawks are on the road favorites with the -3 spread. I like the Seahawks. From my understanding, they still are in playoff contention. Um, if I'm not mistaken. No,
I don't think so.
I mean they 8-8. So are the Packers. They're both 8-8 right now.
Yeah, but as far as the NFC goes, the Niners have already locked, Cowboys locked, Lions locked, Eagles locked, Rams locked, and I think the last spot is literally between the Bucks and the Packers.
I thought it was 7 spots total
Let me see
because
this one.
the number one seed gets that bye.
You're right.
So whoever wins the South Division is automatically in. So it could be the Bucks or the Saints winning the division, and then one of those teams, depending on when the Packers lose, is going to be between the Seahawks and whoever came in second for that division.
Okay. Let me see. I just
So
pulled it up.
that's what I was saying. I think they still in playoff contention.
Yeah,
Um,
they still on the bubble. Actually, you said that the Vikings was out. The Vikings are still on the bubble too.
oh, okay. Well, a lot is riding on this week, clearly.
For real.
Um, but I think the Seahawks win against the division rival Cardinals. Cardinals just haven't had enough pretty much all year. It would be in our best interest for the Cardinals to win, but I don't think that's going to happen. Um, you got the Chargers versus the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are pretty much going to sit their starters, um, try to get healthier for the playoffs.
I don't think the Chargers have enough anyway because they don't have a quarterback, bro. Like,
Easton Stick is the quarterback.
don't have a quarterback. Don't have a quarterback. Don't have a head coach.
No, nothing. Yep.
I think Andy
Who's
Reid.
the backup? Who's the backup for the Chiefs?
I forgot they had one.
Right. Wait, let me go look real quick. Who's their backup?
Put it up to like,
Blaine Gabbert.
oh, he's wow, bro. Why is Blaine Gabbert still in the league?
They have Blaine Gabbert and they have Chris Oladukan. I hope I didn't butcher that.
You probably definitely did.
Probably. No disrespect, but that's what it looks like on my end. But yeah, them are backups for Patrick Mahomes. So one of them are gonna be playing. Regardless, majority of the starters are gonna be out. If the Chargers win, wouldn't be surprised. If they lose, wouldn't be surprised. But yeah. Then you have the Broncos and the Raiders. I think both teams are out of playoff contention now. They have the Raiders as a -3 favorite at home. I like the Raiders. I think that this is another game for Antonio Pierce, in my opinion, to kind of solidify his argument of being the head coach for the Raiders. So I think that the Raiders will win this game.
Yeah,
Yeah. Then we have the Eagles versus the Giants. Eagles, I'm assuming, are playing their starters because they don't have the division yet. So they basically need the Cowboys to lose, which I highly doubt will happen. And they also need to win. I mean, it's the Eagles. I think they'll win. Even though the spread is -4.5, I think they need a boost of motivation before going into these playoffs. So a win, I think, will definitely do them some good against a division rival. So, yeah.
be real. I still got the Eagles coming out the NFC, man. Like through the whole thing. I know that they've had their little stumbles, over these last few weeks, but playoff football is playoff football. When it's time to turn it on, it's time to turn it on, and I think they've already shown that they're a team that's capable of turning it on and playing with just about anybody. So, yeah, no, I have them actually coming out of the NFC in the moment. I actually got Ravens
Eagles.
Super Bowl.
I said that. I want to say, what was that, week 11? And I'm going to stick to that. With the Ravens winning, obviously. Lamar gets his second MVP, and then he also gets his first Super Bowl. I see that happening. Speaking of the 49ers, we got them going against the Rams. They already pretty much solidified the number one spot in the NFC, so they don't necessarily have to play their starters, but I think they will. I got them winning against the Rams. Then you have the Cowboys versus the Commanders with a -13 spread. Obviously, they're going to be playing their starters. So, got the Cowboys there. Then we talked about it earlier, the Bills and the Dolphins. Dolphins at home, I think they were a -2.5. No, Buffalo -2.5. Sunday night game, winning your end pretty much for Buffalo. I don't know, bro. I think if we're being completely honest, I think that Buffalo right now is the hardest competition in the AFC for the Ravens. Just the way they've been playing, they figured out their run game, and it kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off of Josh Allen. But Josh Allen also has a tendency of making mistakes. So I just feel like they have a bigger chip on their shoulder than the Dolphins do to pull out this win.
Well,
So,
I don't think that. I think that's understood that they have more to prove because the Dolphins are already in the playoffs. So no, they don't have to have the same connotation, but they also are rivals and it's competitive. Like I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk either. Now I will say I like Buffalo. I think that they have every puncher's chance as anybody with that team. But they are also the Buffalo Bills. They are known for getting there and dropping the ball. So, with that said, I'm sticking with Miami.
I respect it. I respect it. I mean, I think it's one of those games that honestly can go either way. I just personally feel like I gotta go with Buffalo, bro. As much as I despise the praise that Josh Allen gets for being a mobile white quarterback, I think that they win this game. I really do. Obviously, last but not least, we got our very own Chicago Bears going against the Packers. I don't know if you saw that video by Kyle Brandt and what he had to say to Justin. Did you not see it?
Yeah, I think I did.
About this is
Yeah,
your last game as a Chicago Bear. This is your first game as a Chicago legend, something like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was ready to run through a wall after hearing him say that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's like, bro, can Sunday be here already? Like, can the game start like right now after he finishes this? Like, please. But nah, I think that given what the roster more than likely is going to look like for this game, no Darnell Mooney, he's out with concussion. Who knows? That might be the last game he played. Might be his last game as a Chicago Bear, potentially. Jalen Johnson doubtful. Kyler Gordon and Cole Kmet both questionable. So a lot of factors come into play when looking at the roster. Um, with that being said, I'm obviously going to pick my Bears. I think that Justin balls out, kind of similar to the statistics predictions that you have. I think he's going to have a more efficient game than 20 for 32. I'm going to give him 6 incompletions. So I'm gonna say 24 for 30. Over 200 passing yards. I'm gonna say over 60 rushing yards. I think that Khalil Herbert has a really good game. I think he's had, if I'm not mistaken, two games over 100 rushing yards back
Mhm.
to back. I think he has a really good game. I'm taking his over on whatever his rushing yards are, because the Packers defense hasn't really been good against the run. Um, I think the X factor for this game is going to be. I'm gonna pick two X factors: one for offense, one for defense. I think the X factor for offense is going to be Khalil Herbert. I think that he takes a lot of pressure off of Justin Fields with good gameplay, making the play action a lot more easier for him. Um, yeah, I think that his gameplay is going to make things, depending on what the roster looks like come game time, it's going to make things easier for Justin, point blank, period. And then for defense, I think that the X factor is going to be Tyreek Stevenson. Whoever he's lined up against, I think that, worst case scenario, if Jalen Johnson does end up not playing, he's going to have to stick Christian Watson. And I like that matchup for Tyreek Stevenson.
Uh, well, obviously I have the Bears. I never pick against them, to be perfectly honest with you. Um, but in terms of speaking about this game, I think Jordan Love has a hard time against our defense. I truly believe that our defensive front is going to get pressure to the quarterback throughout the game. Um, I honestly don't think we're going to see as much of Khalil Herbert this game. I think they give more of the ball to Roshan Johnson. This being the last game of the season, him being the rookie running back coming in, and them literally just wanting to see more of him, more from him. Uh, I think that's more of a realistic play for them with this last game. Because they've actually, if you look at the numbers, they've been steadily giving him more touches over the
Yeah,
last few games. So I can see that happening. So he may be an X factor. I count him. But I think you nailed it with Tariq Stevenson. With him having forced to be the on ball defender cornerback for the whoever they have at number one receiver, a lot is going to come down to whether he's able to like stop things, get takeaways, and really put us in a situation to win the game.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be a good game, man. It's really gonna be a good game, and I'm more excited about potentially knocking Green Bay out of the playoffs, just like the Lions did last year. Because even though we don't make it, just to know that we're the reason why you don't make it.
Yes, that and also I'm gonna be real, G. Thinking about the landscape of the offseason.
Hmm.
Talk about Justin and what they're gonna do with the number one pick, which I always thought was an asinine conversation. It just didn't make sense to me. I'm
Hmm.
really ready for Justin to go into this game, take over, win the game against the Packers, something that we haven't done necessarily in a little while, and just put in this position to be able to say, hey, when this draft comes around, either we're taking Marvin Harrison number one, or somehow miraculously we traded back to the Patriots at number three, and we
Hmm.
still get Marvin Harrison Jr. Because I don't think there's any way possible that Washington doesn't draft a quarterback at number two.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Quick question before we wrap up. So, I don't know if you had a chance to look at the people that are going to be free agents this year. Just to kind of give you a couple ideas, you have Josh Allen from Jacksonville, not the quarterback, the
Mm-hmm.
defensive end. You have Brian Burns. You have T. Higgins, Antoine Winfield Jr. Is there any free agent that you would love for the Bears to try to get?
Mm. Honestly, no, no, and I'll tell you why. I feel like the biggest positions of need would have been like Josh Allen at defensive end, or like T. Higgins at wide receiver. But the way we're positioned in the draft, like for the low ski, I can draft Marvin Harrison Jr. I can draft Jarrett Verse or what's
Dallas
the
Turner.
old boy Dallas Turner from Bama. Like I literally can go get people to fill these spots because of the way we're positioned. I don't think
Mhm.
we necessarily have to go get somebody, but at the same time, we are number seven in cap space with 62 million. So we clearly are going to go get somebody. And out of the top seven teams, there's only two other teams that are more attractive. Because the top seven teams are Washington, Titans, Texans, New England, the Colts, and the Bengals. And realistically, Washington's not attractive because they don't have a quarterback. They're going to have a new coach. They're going to have new everything. So there's
Mhm.
nothing set in stone for you to really want to go there. Tennessee Titans, same thing. Mike Vrabel might be out the door. They don't have a quarterback for real, set in stone. Even if they want to go with what's his name? Who's the was it Levis, the quarterback for the
Mhm.
Titans?
Yeah, Will Levis.
Even if they go with him, bro, like year two and hasn't shown anything in year one. The Texans are attractive. we've talked about Houston this entire video. Like,
Yeah.
we know that they're going to be able to attract somebody. New England's going to be in the same boat as the first two, no quarterback, and Bill might be out the door. And Bill is the GM and the head coach, so that's going to be an entirely new look in New England. Now, the Colts are there, but the Colts again are they're kind of meh in terms of like, do I really want to go to Indianapolis? No,
I'm just waiting on R-Dot to come out of nowhere with a comment.
Like,
You know what's coming.
do I really want to go to Indianapolis? Not really.
I can't remember if it was him or JB. It's like, well, it's good food out there.
Hilarious. But then you the Bengals too, because the Bengals are attractive. You know what I'm saying? And Joe Burrow be back.
I think the thing about the Bengals is they have to pay Jamar Chase. Like that's gonna be done this offseason. And depending on how much they pay him, T. Higgins might be gone.
They gonna franchise tag T. Higgins and pay Jamar Chase.
They're gonna have to do something. I think I agree with you in regards to free agency moves. I will say I would not be upset if we went and got a safety, because I think that Eddie Jackson has pretty much reached his tenure with the Bears. I think that the smartest thing, because Eddie Jackson obviously loves being a Chicago Bear, I think the smartest thing and the thing that I could see most likely happening is allowing Eddie to stay his last year, his contract, and drafting the safety to develop under Eddie Jackson and fill in for his shoes once he's gone, rather than going to pay somebody some money. If we did go that route and pay somebody some money, I like Antoine Winfield Jr., but I think that he's either going to get franchise tagged by the Bucs or paid by the Bucs. I like Geno Stone for the Baltimore Ravens. He's going to be a free agent. And it was somebody else that I kind of liked that kind of jumped out. I want to say it was Cameron Curl from Washington. But, I mean, he's like at the very bottom out of three people that I named. But I don't think that they would do that. I think more so maybe offensive line, if anything, in free agency.
We need a center bad.
Man, we need a center, and we need to replace Nate Davis. Nate Davis got to go, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've seen enough. He has to go. Lucas Patrick has to go. Cody Whitehair is already out the door. So at this point, I think the only solidified spots that we have is obviously Tevin Jenkins, Darnell Wright, Braxton Jones just has to stay healthy. He's not terrible. He's good. He just has to stay healthy. And then just replacing that center and that other guard position.
Sound like we ain't got the picks, baby.
Yeah. Oh, you mentioned Jared Verse and Dallas Turner, but another edge that I like, that I think will be a sleeper pick, Chop Robinson from Penn State.
Yep.
If you haven't seen his film, check it out. He got that mentality of a Bear, bro. Like, I don't know what it is about Penn State. Jaquan Brisker had that mentality as a Bear coming out of college, and I see the same type of mentality in Chop Robinson, bro. So I would be satisfied with either Verse, Dallas Turner, Chop Robinson. I keep hearing about Latu.
Would you take Chop at 10?
Huh?
Would you take Chop at 10?
That's a tough one.
Because then who would you take at 10, realistically?
I mean, if Dallas Turner is still on the board at 10, I'm taking Dallas Turner at 10. I'm taking Dallas to the team, bro. Um, that's the thing. It's like it just kind of depends because these last couple of years, the draft has just been kind of all over the place in regards to picks after like the first two or three. And it's like, oh, well, why did you go there? You know what I'm saying? So who knows? You might have Brock Bowers fall down at 10. And if Brock fall to 10, imagine getting Marvin Harrison Jr. at 2 or 3 and getting Brock at 10. And then get Chop, and then let's say Chop Robinson falls to a second round pick.
So, it's just a lot going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Bro, it's that's why I'm excited for the season to end. Just so I could just see how the draft order plays out, how free agency plays out. Because once free agency happens, that's when it's like, all right, now I have a better idea of where I think the Bears might go with their picks. We already know more than likely they're going wide receiver, their very first pick, if they don't,
If they don't piss us off and tweet.
Exactly.
Oh, that's the one thing, man, that you can say as a Bears fan, bro. They never, ever go with the easy pick. They never go with the surefire. Oh, we know this is going to be it. Do this. They never just do that. They always gotta try to be smarter than somebody, outsmart their damn selves, and just be like, we get good picks, but sometimes, bro, when you need them to pull the trigger, they do not pull the trigger. Cough, Mr. Trubisky. That's not who we were supposed to draft.
It's not, bro. We had other options, but hey, he has a new job, and it's not with the Bears, so it's no longer our problem.
You're right.
We're still somewhat suffering from it, but hey,
he did give us a 6 touchdown game. We ain't had nothing like that before. Ain't never had nothing like that before.
and almost beat Tom Brady in Chicago. But hey, you live and you learn. Any other, remarks? Anything else you want to say before we get up out of here, Brody?
No, man. Hey, just thank you for having me on the show, man. Feel good about it. It's a good time. Have me again.
Hey, absolutely, bro. You're more than always welcome to come through on the show. But I do want to give you a shout out. I want to shout out your artistry. If you guys have not viewed his work, go follow him at Feral Grin on Instagram. Also check out his website. He has some phenomenal paintings. Buy you a piece. Trust me, I got mine on the way pending. It's worth it. He's already got collaborations with clothing as well. So check bro out. He's been working since I've known him, and it's paying off, bro.
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. But if y'all didn't know, the website is Feral Grin, FERALGRIN.com. Check out the work, read about the artist statement. I got a thesis up there. Whole shebang. Just deep dive and tell me what you think. Send me an email.
Hey man, again, bro, I appreciate you coming through. Like I said, we gonna have another episode real soon. Might be right after the game, might be the day after, but you already know we're gonna be talking about how Justin balled out, beat the Packers, sent the Cheeseheads back to Green Bay with nothing else to do. Yeah, man, appreciate you tuning in. Everybody, thanks for coming in and checking us out on the Fourth Quarter Podcast. Until then, you already know, bear down.
Bro.
Bro.